Okay, Rabbi Yosef Hanu Tali the Havu. We had these certain Tali Rashes they call them small date palms. The Havu, sorry. Also, when they become these blood letters, the Yosef and sit under his date palms. But also, where the Uncle the man, the ravens would come and eat the blood. The Selkie and would go up. The Yosef Tali they have seen. Then would go up on top of the date palms and destroy them. A master time and destroy the trees and destroy the dates. Amalahu Ibn Yosef said to these blood letters, Afuki leaving the karkum, you have to get rid of those crawling things out of here. Korkors. Miha Amalei Abai says Vahagramahu, but it's a grammar. Amalei Hafi Amr Dui review here's a review say by Mas on a Mas is also Maris Grama Zigan. This means to say from our Mishnah we learned that Grama and Zigan is also, so get them out of here. They're causing Grama. They're not have to pay for it, but they're not allowed to do it. Well, Ziklahu, he says, but they have a chazaka to do this. Nachman Amr Abba Baragua and chazaka Ziklahu. They say back, we said back, but there's Nachman son of I said the name of Rabbi Baragua. There's no chazaka when you can't have a chazaka to damage something. They can say I couldn't take, I can't take it, even though you have. I thought I could take it, and I was mochel, but I can't. Well, Mitmar lies in the seven that Rabbi Mari. Amr Mari says because we're talking about a smoky oven. Rabbi Zvir Amr by basic keys. We're talking about a bathroom. Amr lay Hani the idea that I needed diet. These to me where I was a week was I need I'm like a finicky person. He quotes your basic keys. These are like a smoky thing and a bathroom to me because so either the blood is counts as it or they would bring the blood these ravens. So that's just it's making really really disgusting. They rash says makidam the bloodletting kork or even that's those are ravens. Shadoma look bad sakos and they're similar and they're crying kork. They're similarly like crying kork. So they sound like they're sounding kork. Hafiku to get rid of them. Klomer alti of ziku yakizuli don't yakiz don't bloodlet. Okay. Hold anymore. Khan over here. Shal Kenya however in Big that's why these ravens are here. The kurtz with smoke, ashan. Basically, see Shalgabe Karka, which is on top of the ground. When you're in the night, it can be seen to the eyes. This bathroom, it's so disgusting. Shkachai about the Kaddish Hashem, that was the bathrooms they would see. You could see it right up, and you could see this disgusting bathroom full of whatever. Masti, so my opinion is to job in a year. You have to distance your dove go from the city. Commission on 50 yams, the doves don't get into the city and attack it. But lo yas adam shavak, the person shouldn't make a shavak with lay inside his own property. Alam can yesh lo commission mam lecharuach unless he has 50 yams all around him. Rabbi Hulam or Beis Arbars, Koran is Rabbi Huda says it has to be for Koran a much bigger space. Molly Shegar, he on the whole flight of the only has to get away from the city. Imloku Afilu base rova Harry should has caused but if they bought even just a base rova which is much less, then it's behold it's in his kozaka because let's see Rashi, meaning he can use it and keep it. Rashi says if he's going to show him in a year, Shayonam I've seen in the Rhyme Gagos because the doves destroy the seeds on the roofs, aginos of the gardens. LMK unless you have that much space, they shouldn't damage in the field in his friend's field. But Halu Chaga Yona, only the full flight of the field. Mirutza Prichas Pamachas, the running of the flying of one time. Imlock of the body, Kamoshahu as it is. Yamakarka with the ground, he bought it with all that. Afilu Ainlo Kola Sviva Ella base Rovakav, even if the layers all around him only Rovakav, Harry because Kaso, it's beholden to Niskadaka, and you can keep it. Shahari cooks of Bo Rishon Kane, the first one has the Chazaka to do this for whatever reason, however he got it, but we assume there's a reason why he got it. And now you bought it from him, you get that. Even if it's very close to the city. Chamisha Mama, Vesulo, 50 amas and then no more. That's all you have to go from the city. From the city. Ramin, last year in parts of Nishwa, you can't set out traps, Leonim for bird doves. LM can hear from me, Manu Vini Yishuv, unless you distance from them from the dwelling place, Lo Shemris, 30 risks, much more. So we see that they can fly much more. Amr Bba says, Meshan Hashai too, but they fly much more. Yeah. The Karasaibim Bekamisham Am Somali, but their bellies with 50 ams they fill. Meshan Shloshim Ris, they fly 30 Ris, Vasulan on more, Vatani Bishop, Afilu Mea Mil. But we learned in a Brisa, in a dwelling place, in a city, even 100 mil. Well, yeah, first they shouldn't fly. So meaning even 100 mil, why only 30 mil? Okay, so we see it can go much more, much more. Rabbi Yosef Omer b'yishuv kram. When it said yishuv, it means yishuv of vineyards. Rabbi Omer b'yishuv shopkim. Rabbi says it means the yishuv of dovecotes. But typically, and therefore they can get much further because of the dovecotes. Really, they can only fly 30 right? Yeah. Now, what the Havamina is, why it would matter how you would do this. Okay, you have to look. Okay. Um, 'cause they thought it was Yishuv Zrayim, and they thought you could fly that much, but and therefore the question is, how come you say they can only fly 30 risks? They can fly much more. The answer is, we're talking Yishuv Kramim and through the vineyards, that they can rest and whatever, and they can get further. Roma was used to Shofim. Rabbi says with the dwelling of, we're talking about there's a lot of Shofim, they can go through the dovecotes, they can rest and do that. But typically, Mishum Shofim, the Gufay, I want to learn just from the Shofim themselves. You have to listen from those Shofim. Okay, granted, you're a whole pile away from the other one, the original one, they're jumping from one to the next. What about the last Shofim? So you have to get away from that one too, no? If you want to say it's his own one, and therefore he only has to distance his traps from that one, from the one that's not his. Yibayzim with the Kanani if you want to say it's a guy's and doesn't have to be so careful. Yibayzim with the Hefker if you want to say it's Hefker and therefore he, he doesn't have to be careful about that at all. He can take those. In person Ishboim, I guess someone left and no one took it. In the person Ishboim, you can't set out traps. Shalil could do Behem Yom usually shouldn't capture them the doves of the city. Shloshim risk, you have to listen 30 risks. Arba milim, 4 milim. Vikrisai with Kamisha Kamalian, their bellies in 50 yamas they fill. Majim Balakatim Betel Kamisha Mam, which they take in 50 yamas, Mismalik Priest that fills their stomachs. They must see them Bedroim, Mikan Lahal, and they don't damage in the season from there on. Pull your post, this point, you shouldn't set up traps. You should come and dwell in the, when it says you should mean dwelling place of vineyards. Shapoy from Mikam, the time they fly from one vineyard to the next. They shot them hard and they fly and they fly a lot. They can go from one to the next and they can get much further. The Yishuv Shovkum, we're talking about a dwelling place of dovecotes. Shemadalim and Shovkum, they jump from one dovecote to the next. Typically, Mishum Shovkum, if I want to learn it out from the Shovkum themselves. My Mea Mil, why does it say the comment? Why does it say 100 mil that it's saying? The Mashal of Shvil Yonah, it's because of the Yonah of the cities, the Mitrach that your distance. Shaboy and should come here, they'll Shovkum through the dovecotes. Alav Yonah here, without the dovecotes of the city. Nami, Lo Yifros, he still shouldn't start to spread out his trap. Shari local Yoni Shovkum Shalachon, the Shalafim, is still going to be taking the traps of the Yonim of the dovecotes of other people because there's the last one he has to worry about. He's going to take that one. Okay, Rabbi Yehuda Omer Beis Abikorin, Rabbi Yehuda Omer says Beis Abikorin, and then finally we said if you buy something very small, Beis Robakot, Harry, you could keep it. Amr Papa Rav says and if you want to take Rizvid, it's also Meristani and Lokech Latin Liyash. We learn from this, we tie up for a Lokech, someone who bought something, we make tines from him, maybe you have a right to it. Maybe the guy before you bought it, or whatever. Latin Liyash, we tie up for yours, someone who, if you inherit something, we tie up, okay, maybe the person you inherited it from actually bought it. Yoristani, and the Gemara says, Yorish, we already learned that. How come Mishum Yerusha the Inotar? Here because, Abba Mishum Yerusha, when it comes because of Yerusha, he inherited something, and it's not doesn't need a claim. He can just say, I inherited it, and we'll make the claim. Okay, so you inherited it, and you have a good reason why. Well, let's claim that you bought it, or that the guy before you bought it. Maybe he did. Lokeach, that's true. The answer is Lokeach is needed. Buying is needed. Lokeach Namitin, we also, then to teach us that we sign up for them, and we help them out and say, they don't really know what's going on, and let's say maybe this is what happened, and we're going to sign up for them. You may think only a Yorish, but maybe a Lekech really does know Kamashlan and Lekech, you would do Tana also. Lekech Namitin, Tani Lekech also is Tana Bryson. Laka Katsir Baz is in, if you bought a courtyard and in it has little jut outs, the Gazotros, and I think those are patios or something. I'm not sure. I think it will be in the. One second. Okay, pegs and stuff, not they're similar to pegs. Harizebach has cost the holders in is Gamel says Harizebach has cost the holders in is kazak. You can keep that thing even though it has those jot outs into the Gerishos Rabbim. Okay, let's see Rashi. You missed two Rashis. Tanin Liorish, Tanin Liokeh. Bezdin post compatible. Bezdin opens up their mouth to Tanin Liorish and claims to the Yorish. We'll look after someone in Basra. Shahira Adam Balam, the person protested about them. V'yesh lo Edom, he has Edom Shah, he's still Shalom, and that it was his. O Shalach Avos, it was his father's. V'zeh Omer, Yirash, so someone comes in and says that. Was mine, or was my father's? And Zeh Omer, Yirash, it says, I inherited my Abba from my father. Ola Kasi, or I bought him from a certain guy. Jehoshaphat Yam Raman, he's been there for a long time. I know you had it one time, but he was there for 3 years or more. He brings Adam Jehoshaphat that there was a chazaka there by his father, or more for the person who sold it to him. Though Shalom was there for 3 years. Alpha Shalom the time, even though it doesn't claim the Hayden Lachko and they bought him from you, Omi Avosecha or from your father, Tanin Lo Bezdin will make this claim for him and say maybe it's true. Okay. Suppose Pam we open his mouth. You Lamish Lo Yarshan, if we're talking about someone who didn't inherit it, Lola didn't buy it, for someone else. When the person protesting says that it used to be mine, Mato Osa Betel, what are you doing in my field? He says, I had a chazak for 3 years. V'lo Li David didn't say anything. Tana Masis, we learned in a mission about this case. The Emlo chazak doesn't count as a chazak. Masis Negatanya Hari who the chazkas in the mission says, behold the dinner chazak, you can use the dovko even though there's not enough space from the city. Ashmina Dehecha the Loka that teaches you when you buy from someone else above a year and they come and protest the love, ain't sorach you don't have to distance. What do you see? We claim for him, which bill also shalach from him is bias him sevivov, and it's because the reason why we say it's okay is because we say you assume that the one you bought it from had appeased the people around him, but most of the money I should know so until they agreed, to give the money until they agreed. Ain't sorach doesn't need a claim. You don't, the Abba doesn't have to say you sold it to my father. Ella, we're easy the Abba sheikhs above. I saw my father had made a chazak in it 3 years. Lo ir adam 11 no one protested on it. Lokam it chatzir then he bought a courtyard and then it has the john out into the field. And I see into the Chesed the Mishnah Chesed Gabas and we went to the Mishnah. Emotion zizanum gazustras you can't take out these pegs and I don't know what gazustras are. I think those are platforms. The Rishus Rabbim to Rishus Rabbim. Adam Abonabai, someone is building a house. Lo Yotzi Roshi covers, you can't take out the heads of the beam, the cross of his roof. Mishos Rabim can't sit those down as Mishos Rabim. Abel Im wrote the Kon is being binyan, but if he wants he can enter in his whole building, Atosha bring it more into his own property. Ubona and then build there. Motzi Roshi covers and then and then stick out the heads of the beams to the outside because that's still his property where the beams are gone. Imlach if he bought a courtyard, it bought this in the Gazustros and then it has jot outs and Gazustros. Yotzes of Shos Rabbim going out to the Shos Rabbim, Harihu, maybe because this is those beams. Harihu Bechas Kasa, behold it is in the Chazaka, Shabezdin, and the meaning can use it. Shabezdin Tanidim Leil, that the Bezdin will claim for him, Sharishim Konas Tel Shalom, that the person went into his own property, opened it, despite him Rabbim, where he appeased the public and bought it from the important people of the city, and they sold it to him. Okay. But anyway, the point is it's taught. How is it because it's equal. We thought in that case where you have the jot outs, Gab Rishos Ram Gars Rishos Rabim, Amor, Konis L'Tol Shalom, says that he went into his own stuff. He went into his own property, that's why it's okay. Raj says Amor L'Tol Konis Shalom. Shalom only came if it wasn't this, Hayo Rabim Markvin 11, then the public would have stopped him. Below Hayachal Asas of Israel, he wouldn't have been able to do it with getting so strong in them. There's so many people, you can't be stronger than everyone. Abu Kaneg the opposite one person in Bezroy also maybe did it with his strength. Shahayah Chazak man was stronger than them, and then he just said, okay, we're doing this. I'm putting this wherever. Inami Yahuliach Gabe Bnei Rishos Rabbim, where you say that they would mochel the people of the Rishos Rabbim Gabe. People of the Rishos Rabbim are mochel to him. Yeah, and okay, and that's why I could do it. Abul Halcha, but over here, in regards to this dovecoat, lo, you wouldn't say that. No, sorry. In regards to spreading out, yeah, and there's the dovecoat. Maybe got permit. They were local people of the city. I think. One second. Let me just check. So maybe they're only getting a little bit. They're going to be more local than in the if it's one dovecoat. It's only a little bit of damage by getting hit by these things. Therefore, they're going to be more maple. But by a dove, where you're going to lose a whole dove, then you're not going to do it. You just tell them to get your. So when you're eating all the tree, um, eating all the stuff in this city, but over here now. Okay. So maybe they'll be mobile here. Here they wouldn't be mobile. The Yashmin and Hakal, but this is over here. Given the Yakatu, aim of PUC bias, and maybe he said he appeased them. Hinami Akuli Akal Gabe, or maybe they were mochel by him. I guess there's some reason why he'd be mochel one, and another reason why he'd be mochel the other one. Okay. Abu Rabim, Man Paris, and Man Shabak. But Rabbi, but the public, who's appeased and who's going to leave him there? Emily would say no. It's would say he wouldn't assume that it would happen, and the guy was paid off or some of his mochel. Rash's man pies, Mihoy Rishai the Kavamos, who was permitted to take the money. I know the Shabbat year, but like it's not very common. Man Pashavik, I don't know if they can even take money. Man Shavik, they would have to take it for the city or something, I don't know. Man Shavik, who left it? Mihu should be other than Kol with Listo. Who's the one who's able to be mochel and forgive? So maybe, meaning if you buy one person, then you could get him, if you have your dust go by one person, you could, so you paid him off. Okay. That's how, meaning if you bought the field, if you bought the dovecoat, and even though it doesn't have enough space, you could say, well, the reason why it's okay is because you bought the people around them off. How who because so we hold it to him because V'Amr of Nachman. I mean, there's certainly people around him, like whoever's around him, he paid those guys off. How who because so behold these in his kozaka. V'Amr of Nachman says Rav Barvu instead of the name Rav Barvu in kozaka and there's no kozaka for damages. So how could he have a kozaka? It doesn't matter that they agreed, you can say, I can't take it anymore. Amari Yamin Bekutra, Amari says that was talking about a kutra damage, a smoky damage, not like this shovach damage, where the doves are just going to eat maybe something. Whereas Vid Omer basically was talking about a bathroom, which is on top and very disgusting, and that you can say, I know I tried, but no, we're not doing this. Navel is a gozel. Hanim Sabatil Famishima is yeah, it's a bird. Hanim Sabatil Famishima within which is found within 50 amos. Harihushal Bal Shavak belongs to the person of the Shavak that gets 50 amos radius around. What's become Mishma, which is out of his 50 amos, Harihushal also belongs to the person who finds it. Yim Sabin Shnei Shavak, is found between two dovecoats. Karblazah Shalom, Karblazah Shalom, it's close to this one, it says because one is close to, close to this one is the one is close to. Melchel Melchel Shnei Melchel, if it's half and half, then they're divided equally. Rashi says the Nimsa Batul Commission was found within 50 amos, Shoshabak of the dovecoat. Nims the main shnei was found between two dovecotes, but Tochamishim l'shneim within 50 to both of them. Okay, Rashi says that. Amar Rabbi Chanina says, Rov v'karv halcham ma'achor rov. If you have a rov and a majority and a close, something close, we go after the thing which is the majority. If you have two ways to prove something, either you could say, well, rov of them are this way, or it's closer to this one. Rashi says, something comes into our in front of us. V'yesh l'bo l'hala achor rov, and there's to go after the majority. Who kaf, and it's this way. Im if you go after a karav, eno kaf. But if you go after the closest thing, then you say it's not this way. Halach bo after rov, you go after the majority. Ba'afagav tzavai is the right, when they're both the right. So ruba is the right. Hope is the right to siv after around. How does you go after the public to be towards to turn, meaning you follow the rov for judgment. The karav is the right to siv haya yir hakrovan should be the city which is closer. You go by the closer city. Now it's talking like la rufa. You go by the closer city. Rashi says, back in the Gemara, Rov v'karov holkan acharov. So if you have a rov, it says majority is this way. It says this way. Karov is closer to being this one. You go by the rov. Let's do the V'afagav the rov the rice. Even though the rov is the rice, the karov is the rice, and karov and being close is also the rice. Afilu al kiru broad, the still rov is better. Masking the Rav Dir asks a question. Haya ira karova ali follow. Should be the city which is closest to the dead body. V'afagav the ika achrit is not vision a minute. And you go by that closer one, even though there's another city which is more people in it. So why are you putting that little group and say, oh, it must be from the closest city? Maybe it's from the people one which has more people. Middle like we're talking, there's no bigger city around that has more people. Well, it's about the room of the Why don't we go with the majority of the people in the world? Meaning there's for sure more people in the world than here, and assume that it came from there. And you're telling me Rove is better than Karb. I know it's closer to these cities, but it could be from very far away, and they have more people. Yoshev is being a harm. Answers we're dwelling between the mountains, and there's no people coming. Rash is the leka. Rokoku mizu shagadola mimenu. There's no one further than this one, which is greater than it. Elakul and Shamra, they're all the same exact population in the pasuk when it says Zegla Rufa. Bein harm, dwelling between hills. She'en derachol rotzkim lavolim mimakomos acherim lakad. It's not normal for killers to come from other places to here. They don't go up hills and stuff. Okay. Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah. I don't know if it's hill, the mountain, I guess. I don't know. Could be hill. Tanan, navel and imta betul chamishim amos. We learned in the Mishnah, navel which is found within 50 amos of the dovecote. Our usual bala shovach, we put it, the whole that belongs to the dovecote. V'afagav dika chamin in the navshim, even though there's another person who's even more than him, there's another dovecote with more doves in it. Bidulak, the answer is not. Yihochayim or Sif, so look at the Sefer, Chutz Mishmishim Mamla, Harihu Shel Motzah, outside of 50 amos, the whole that belongs to the person who found it. But the lack if there's no one else there, Vade Mehunafu, for sure it came from that person. Meaning, who cares if it's outside of 50 amos? There's no one else. There's no one else there. It's got to be this dovecote. The Gemara says, what are we dealing with here? Where it's just hopping. It can't actually fly yet. Rabbi says, anything which hops more than 50, doesn't hop more than 50, and that's as far as it'll go before it turns back home and wants to go back home. Well, you ask a question. None. If you have 1 foot within 50 amma, 1 foot outside of 50 amma, what's the law? Does that count as in or out? And on this, Afkur the Rabbi Yirmiyah bin Beis Medrash, they took Rabbi Yirmiyah out of the Beis Medrash. The Bas quotes another case, they brought it back in. Another Gemara, it says they brought it back in later. But the point is, if it's within 50, so then it came from that dovecote. It can't come from the other dovecote because there's no other dovecote within 50. If it's past 50, I think Rashi says that now it's assumed to be flying, and now we can go by Ruba Alma. Because you can't tell me, oh, it can only go 50, and if we should go by the ones here, it clearly went outside of the norm and went more than 50. must be a flyer or some form of flyer. Tashima, we learned the Brisa, we learned in a Brisa. Nimsa ben shnei shavim, or it's in our Mishnah. Come bring a proof. We found it between two shavkos. Karvazev shalov, karvazev shalov. It's close to this one. It is as close to this one as that one. So two shavkos to go by the close one. But Avagav the Chaminai Nafish. The Tarvin, the one of them is more than the other. Shavim here we're dealing with here where they're both equal. Later Basa Ruben now. Why don't we go with the majority in general in the world and say that it's not from either of them. Here we're dealing with Bishvil Shalkramen. We'll see that tomorrow. Or whenever we get to it. Lava becomes Yika Queen is not meaning even though there's another dump code there. Let's be Chamishimam outside of 50 yamas to feature mean high, which is better bigger than this one. Still you give it to the 51, which is close to this. The answer is no. There's none. But then why is so the answer is Midada. Ema Sefer, let's look at the Sefer. Who had didn't have much of the Mifrach, same thing could have been you could have asked. Now I'm Lazel Basa Rubalam. Why don't we go by the majority in general before we got to the Sefer? Because you said, well, okay, it's still not making sense. Why don't you go by it in general? Well, just look at Deepa, that's a better question. And that's why the Deepa that's why it's turned to the Sefer and says, well, if we're talking with the Leka, then why even more than Chamisha Ram, you should be able to give it back. Even though you should really ask, why not just go by the general public, the general world. Before you know that you can only hop 50 amos, so then it could have come from anywhere. There's none. There's none. There's somewhere in the world there's some. So, but the better question is, how does the Sefer make sense? If it's more than 50 and there's none, there's no way to get from anywhere. Okay, so why it's got to be this one then. The answer is the whole Mishnah is answered when you say hopping. The talking birds can't fly. El bedidoi, mat is just a little bit of hopping. Mat is a little bit little. Hilka still chamisham. Therefore, within 50 yam shaval shavach of the owner of the shavach. Apagav the ika achrina. Even though there's another one. Chutz chamisham outside of the 50 yama. The nafish, which is more. You still go by the one which is close. The kol medad the medad the yoser me chamishim. You can anything which hops doesn't have more than 50 amos. The tol shel chamishim and within inside the 50 shel motzi belongs to the the chutz shel chamishim and outside of 50 shel motzi belongs to the person who finds it. The given the ein medad the yoser me chamishim since it doesn't hop more than 50. V'zeh yatzah. This one for some reason went out. No, outside of 50. Nafaglim B'Torah Medadi goes out in the category of a hopper, become the B'Torah Mafriach, and stands in the category of something which can fly. Nikol Amazing B'Nei Basa Ruben, there's to go by robe, the Alma, in general robe, because it's a flyer. Although if you want this to take him out, Shahayim Matriach Alam, because it's troubling them, it's asking one foot in, one foot out, it's trouble. What are you doing? They said Tosa says because all the common measure are exact, and therefore, of course, one foot in, one foot out is not going to be good. You went too far, it doesn't go in. That's what I'm saying. It goes 50 amos, not more, not like 50 amos in a quarter. Get out. I'm gonna go by the general public. V'lihavish al should be the person who finds it. Because we're talking, where it's found between two shofars, outside of 50 amos. Now, because it's even going on that case. The Navaglim Mitoris Medala has left the category of being a hopper, and so it's not just these two we have to worry about. Go by the general public.